Ladies and gentlemen, my dear brothers and sisters, my kinfolk in spirit and soul, I greet you today with open arms and an open heart. We have gathered here, drawn by an unseen hand, by a whisper in the wind, by the echoes of our ancestors' songs, to speak of something sacred, something that cannot be bought, cannot be borrowed, and cannot be broken. I speak of the 7 sacred sigils, the hidden marks etched not upon flesh, but upon the soul. These are the signs carried by the women who were not merely born, but called. Women who walk not just with footsteps, but with purpose. Women who stand not just in body, but in truth. The first sigil, the fire in her eyes. Oh yes, you have seen her. That woman whose gaze carries generations. The fire in her eyes is not a simple flicker. It is an inferno, burning away fear, casting light upon the darkness. She does not blink in the face of injustice, nor does she lower her gaze when the world tells her to shrink. The second sigil, the weight of her words. Her voice is a temple, and every syllable a sermon. She speaks with conviction, not to fill the air, but to shift the very ground. Her words have the power to mend wounds, to shake mountains, to lift the weary from the dust. She knows that silence can be a sin and truth a salvation. The third sigil, the strength of her back. My dear ones, a chosen woman does not carry burdens. She bears legacies. She walks with the weight of history pressing against her spine, and yet she does not bow. She moves forward, stepping where her foremothers could not, paving roads with the soles of her feet. The fourth sigil, the kindness in her hands. Oh, these hands. These hands have rocked cradles and written revolutions. These hands have wiped tears and built bridges. These hands, tender as a mother's touch, fierce as a warrior's grip, do not hesitate to heal, to lift, to create. The fifth sigil, the wisdom in her silence. Not all battles are fought with words, and not all wisdom is spoken. She knows the power of a pause, the might of a moment unsaid. She listens to the earth, to the wind, to the stillness that carries the voice of God. She understands that silence can sometimes scream louder than sound. The sixth sigil, the fire in her feet. A chosen woman is never still. She moves not because the world demands it, but because her soul commands it. She marches for justice. She dances for joy. She runs toward dreams others have abandoned. Her feet do not falter, for they were made to carry her home. The seventh sigil, the love in her heart. And this, my dear ones, is the greatest mark of all. Love, not the meek, whispering kind, but the roaring, unbreakable force. The love that heals, that uplifts, that defies. The love that withstands centuries of struggle and still sings at sunrise. These 7 sacred sigils, they do not belong to just one woman, but to all who dare to walk in their truth. So I ask you, my sisters, my mothers, my daughters, do you carry the fire in your eyes? Do you speak with the weight of truth? Do your feet move with purpose and your heart beat with love? Because if you do, my dear ones, then know this. You are chosen. You are seen. You are sacred. Go forth, marked not by the world, but by the heavens. Walk tall, love fiercely, and carry your sigils well. There are things in this life that cannot be measured by the weight of gold or the count of silver coins. Things that cannot be worn like fine silk or embroidered into the hems of a grand gown. There are marks that the world cannot see, yet they are more precious than any crown, more powerful than any throne. The 7 sacred sigils are not written upon the skin, nor are they etched in ink upon parchment. No, my dear ones, these marks are written in fire upon the soul. They are not given to the timid, nor are they granted by chance. They are bestowed upon the women who rise when the world pushes them down. They are carried by the women who have known struggle, who have danced with sorrow and still found a song to sing. A chosen woman does not need the world to tell her who she is. She does not search for validation in the eyes of strangers or in the applause of the masses. No, she carries her own truth within her chest like a burning lantern, illuminating the path before her even in the darkest of night. She may not always recognize the sigils she carries. She may stand before the mirror and see only a tired face, worn from battles fought in silence. She may see hands that have labored, feet that have walked too many weary miles. She may see a body that has bent under the weight of responsibility, a heart that has known the sting of disappointment. But oh, my dear sister, my dear daughter, my dear mother, do you not know, do you not understand? Those very marks, those very lines upon your skin, those very moments of struggle, they are the proof of your sacred calling. You are not broken, you are forged. You are not lost, you are being shaped. The world will try to tell you otherwise. It will try to convince you that worth is something that must be earned, that power is something to be taken. It will try to place you in a box, dress you in labels that do not fit, name you with words that are not your own. It will try to silence your voice, to dull your shine, to whisper lies into your ear about who you are and who you are not. But a chosen woman knows. She may falter, she may doubt, she may stumble on her journey, but deep within her spirit she knows. She knows she was not placed upon this earth to be hidden. She knows she was not called to be quiet when truth needs to be spoken. She knows that when she stands, she does not stand alone. She stands with the voices of all the women who came before her, the mothers and grandmothers, the warriors and poets, the healers and dreamers, the ones who paved the way with their courage, their sweat, their tears. And when she walks with purpose. She may not always know the destination, but she knows the direction. She moves forward, ever forward, carrying the sacred sigils upon her soul. They are not heavy burdens, no. These marks are wings. They lift her, they guide her. They remind her that she was born for something greater than mere existence. She was born to create, to nurture, to teach, to love, to lead. And so, my dear one, if ever you doubt, if ever you wonder whether you are worthy, whether you are chosen, let me tell you now, with no hesitation and no doubt, you are. You who have survived the storm, you who have carried the weight of generations, you who have loved even when it hurt, who have given even when there was nothing left to give, you who have spoken truth even when your voice trembled, who have lifted others even when your own back was bent from labor. You do not need permission to shine. You do not need validation to be powerful. The sigils are already there, written in your resilience, carved into your courage, woven into your very being. So walk tall, my dear. Walk tall with the knowing. Walk tall with the fire in your eyes and the wisdom in your bones. Walk tall and let the world see the sacred light that is already within you. There is a rhythm to a woman's words, a music that hums beneath every syllable, a weight that rests upon every breath. A chosen woman does not simply speak, she declares. She does not merely talk, she testifies. Her voice is not a fleeting whisper in the wind. It is the sound of mountains shifting, of rivers carving valleys, of time bending toward justice. When she speaks, she does so with intention. She knows that words are not idle things. They are stones laid carefully in the foundation of tomorrow. They are seeds planted in the soil of young minds and old souls alike. They are sparks igniting revolutions in the hearts of those who have been waiting too long in the cold silence of oppression. She does not waste her words on foolishness. Oh no, a chosen woman understands the power of speech, the currency of language. She does not trade in empty flattery or idle gossip, for she knows that words shape the world, and she will not be careless in her creation. She chooses each phrase with the same deliberate hand that a sculptor uses when carving marble, knowing that what she speaks she sets into motion. And do not mistake her quiet for absence, her pause for weakness. When a chosen woman is silent, she is gathering. She is collecting her wisdom, pulling in the lessons of her ancestors, weighing her thoughts on the scales of history. And when she opens her mouth to speak, her voice carries the weight of every woman who was silenced before her, every mother who hummed lullabies to frighten children, every sister who whispered courage into the ears of those who needed it most. There are those who fear a woman who knows how to use her voice. They try to hush her, to shrink her, to tell her that her words are too much, too loud, too bold, too dangerous. But a chosen woman does not ask for permission to speak. She does not wait for an invitation to the table. She brings her own chair, her own microphone, her own stage if need be, and she speaks anyway. Her words do not beg for approval. They demand attention. She does not soften truth to make it more palatable, does not trim the edges of honesty to make it easier to swallow. No, she tells it as it is, as it has been, and as it must be. Her voice has known pain. It has cracked under the weight of sorrow, trembled in the face of injustice. But it has also soared. It has lifted up the weary, has spoken life into the hopeless, has whispered love into the ears of the broken-hearted. It has called forth healing, has summoned strength from the depths of despair. And oh, when she speaks love, it is not the soft, fragile thing that some mistake it to be. No, when a chosen woman speaks of love, she speaks of the kind that builds nations, that heals wounds, that defies the boundaries set by small minds and fearful hearts. She speaks of a love that fights, that stands firm, that does not waver in the face of hatred. There will be those who try to twist her words, who will take the honey from her lips and turn it bitter in their telling. Let them try. For truth has a way of rising, of finding its way to the ears that need it most. A chosen woman understands this. She does not fear the twisting of her words, for she knows that the foundation she builds with them is stronger than any storm. She knows that the words spoken from a place of truth do not fade, do not die, do not disappear into the void. They linger, they settle into hearts, they take root in the souls of those willing to hear. So she speaks for the ones who cannot. She speaks for the ones who have been told to be quiet, to be small, to take up less space. She speaks for the ones whose tongues have been bound by fear, by history, by oppression. And when she speaks, the earth listens, the walls tremble, the sky bends its ear to hear the sound of a chosen woman, standing in her power, claiming her space and telling the truth. There are few things as powerful, as sacred, as the resilience that lives in a woman's back. It is not just the strength to endure, though surely that is part of it. It is more than the ability to carry heavy loads, though no one knows better than a woman what it means to bear burdens. It is the quiet power that flows through her spine, the unyielding conviction that no matter how the world may press upon her, she will not bend to break. Her back is not just muscle and bone. It is the foundation upon which history has been built. It is the column that holds up the temple of all those who have come before her, who have labored without recognition, who have fought without reward, who have loved without condition. She carries not just the weight of her own dreams, but the hopes, the pain, and the prayers of those who have walked this path before her. When the world tells her to bow, to kneel, to retreat in the face of hardship, she stands tall. And though she may stagger, she does not fall. Though her shoulders may ache with the weight of injustice, she does not drop the load. She is bound by a strength that is older than the stars, forged in the fire of generations who have known suffering but never surrender. This strength is not born of physical might alone. No, it is a resilience that rises from the depths of the soul. It is the knowledge that survival is not a matter of just making it through. It is about carrying the weight of survival and still moving forward. A woman's back tells the story of survival, of fighting for her right to exist in a world that would see her diminished. It tells the story of standing when the world would prefer her kneeling. And when she walks, when she moves, when she carries those burdens, it is not simply out of necessity. It is an act of defiance. She carries her history. She carries her identity. She carries her own truth, even when the world does not wish to see it. She carries the future of her children, the legacy of her ancestors, the vision of the dreams she has not yet realized. It is a sacred burden, this weight upon her back, for she knows that to walk this world, to face the cruelty and the beauty of it, she must be more than just a body moving through space. She must be a force, a vessel of strength that will not be turned away by the harsh winds of adversity. She must be unshakable, unwavering, like the oak that bends in the storm but does not break. But, my dear ones, let us not mistake this strength for invulnerability. The back of a woman, though it may be strong, has been bent before. There are wounds, old scars etched deep into the skin, reminders of the times when she has been asked to carry too much, to shoulder the weight of a world that has never been kind. She has been beaten down, but she rises again. She has been pushed to the edge, but she stands. She has been told she is too much, too loud, too bold, but she continues to walk, to move, to carry the dreams of those who came before her and those who will come after her. It is in her back, in the way she holds herself, that you can see the strength of a woman who has not just survived, but who has learned how to live fully, powerfully, beautifully, in the face of all the forces that sought to make her small. A woman's back is the testament to the struggle, yes, but it is also a testimony to the triumph. It is a victory that cannot be measured in gold or accolades, but is written in the resilience of the heart and the grace with which she carries the load. When a woman moves, when she walks with purpose, you can feel the force of that sacred power. She is not walking alone. She is walking with the ancestors who whispered in her ear, who kissed her brow, who told her to stand, to rise, to reach for the heavens and know that she is deserving. She is walking with the mothers who carried the weight of entire generations on their backs, with the grandmothers who worked the fields and raised the children, with the sisters who lifted each other up, who told each other, we will carry this together. And so, though her back may bend under the weight, it will never break. It may ache. It may feel as though it cannot carry one more thing, but still she stands. Still she moves. Still she holds the weight of the world and the promise of a future that has yet to unfold. For the strength in her back is not just a physical thing. It is the essence of her resilience, the refusal to be crushed, to be silenced, to be diminished. It is the backbone of revolution, of change, of courage. It is the quiet defiance that says, I will not be broken, I will not be bent. And in that defiance there is beauty, there is grace, there is sacredness. A woman's back is a work of art, a testament to the strength that flows through her, the strength that was gifted to her by the women who walked before her. And as she carries the weight, she is not alone. She is the foundation upon which a brighter future will be built. And so it is. There is a truth, a sacred truth, in the way a woman's hands move through the world. These hands, these precious hands, are more than mere instruments of action. They are not just tools for building or creating, though they are mighty in their ability to shape the world. These hands are the keepers of tenderness, of warmth, of strength. They are the hands of a mother, of a healer, of a warrior. They carry within them the history of every woman who has ever touched a life, every woman who has ever reached out in love, in grace, in hope. When a chosen woman extends her hands, she is offering more than a simple gesture. She is offering a piece of her soul, her essence, her very being. She does not give lightly, nor does she give without purpose. These hands that have known struggle, have known joy, have known the weight of the world upon them, are powerful beyond measure. They are hands that have wiped away tears, that have mended broken hearts, that have held children close, and that have lifted others in their darkest hour. Oh, the power of a woman's touch! It is a quiet power, not loud nor showy, but one that is deep, one that settles into the bones and works its magic in ways the world may never understand. A woman's hands heal wounds that the eye cannot see, soothe souls that the heart cannot express, and build foundations that hold up the dreams of generations yet to come. These hands have caressed sorrow and transformed it into strength. These hands have comforted the weary, held the broken, and guided those lost in the wilderness of their own despair. And yet these hands are not just for tending and nurturing. No, these hands are also the hands of creation. They are the hands that mold clay into art, that build houses from dust and stone, that write words that can change the course of history. These hands have given birth to revolutions, have planted seeds in the fertile soil of change, have shaped the world in ways that only a woman knows. There is no task too small, no dream too large, that these hands cannot accomplish. A chosen woman's hands are hands of action, hands of vision, hands that do not wait for permission to create, but instead reach boldly forward into the unknown, grasping the future with the same certainty as a farmer reaching into the earth to plant his seed. But let us not forget, my dear ones, that these hands, though powerful, are also delicate. They are gentle hands, hands that know the weight of vulnerability, hands that have held both joy and pain in equal measure. These hands are not made of stone or steel. They are made of flesh and blood, soft and tender to the touch. They are hands that have known what it is to be broken, to be bruised, to be battered by the storms of life. They have known the sting of betrayal, the sorrow of loss, the ache of being misunderstood. But still these hands continue to reach. Still these hands continue to build, to heal, to lift. And so, when a chosen woman extends her hands to the world, she does not do so out of weakness. No, she does so from a place of profound strength, a strength that comes not from force, but from the depth of her heart, from the wisdom that lives in the palms of her hands. These hands are not merely vessels of action. They are instruments of love, of care, of grace. They carry within them the power to transform, to heal, to uplift. She understands that the greatest gift she can offer is not just the work of her hands, but the intent behind that work. For her hands do not move in haste, nor do they move in anger. They move with purpose, with thought, with love. Whether she is nurturing her children, tending to the sick, or building something new, she moves with a deep sense of responsibility. A responsibility to herself, to the world, and to those who will come after her. She does not seek recognition, nor does she crave the accolades that others might seek. Her hands do not need the world to praise them, for they are praised in the quiet, in the unseen moments of her labor. These hands have held and healed when no one else was looking. These hands have worked in the shadows, building a future that others will one day walk into, though they may never know the price of the labor it took to get there. And yet there is also a beauty in these hands that cannot be denied. It is a beauty that comes not from their physical appearance, but from the love they carry, from the work they do, from the stories they tell. A woman's hands are beautiful because they are real. They are scarred. They are worn. They are soft and rough all at once, but they are also full of grace. They carry the stories of the women who came before her, and they carry the promise of those who will come after. These hands, they are the hands of a chosen woman. They are her strength and her tenderness, her work and her love. They are the symbols of her power, her beauty, her resilience, and when she extends them, when she offers them to the world, she offers not just the labor of her hands, but the entirety of her soul. She offers a love that will never end, a strength that will never falter, and a grace that will carry her through even the darkest of days. And so, when a woman reaches out, when she offers her hands, let us not forget the sacredness of that gift. Let us honor it. Let us cherish it. For these hands are the hands that build the future. These hands are the hands of a woman who knows her worth, who understands her power, and who will always give of herself, not out of obligation, but out of love. And in that love we find our strength. And so it is